this is my second to last, my penultimate location on this trip. And I'm really sad. I mean, there's like parts of me that I'm kind of ready to go back, moving into a new apartment. I get to see my cat and my parents, but otherwise I'm not really that excited to go back. But all good things must come to an end. I'm here in Liverpool. I'm actually staying in New Brighton, which is like across the river, which I thought, hey, this is a good deal. The Airbnb is pretty nice. And all was going well until I logged in last night because I wanted to look at the train passes. And the train line for New Brighton and another line that kind of offshoots from it, they're not operating. Essentially, there's no rail service. It says from the 6th of June, so we don't know how long it's going to be. So it's indefinite, but there's no trains running. There's only bus service that's like replacing to get you to a certain station. I think it's like Hamilton Roads or something like that. But they haven't provided like any sort of timetable. When people have asked, myself included, have asked for a timetable, like I even waited like until this morning to ask, because I'm like, okay, fine, I'll give them overnight hours. But they still don't. They're like, yeah, sorry, we don't have that. I'm like, what do you mean you don't have that? And like a lot of people are upset. So anyway, it's more difficult to get over into Liverpool because you have to rely on buses, and the bus service, it just doesn't seem like it's that reliable. So I'm not quite sure. Hoping that they'll at least have a little bit more of an update for the rest of the week, because this is really, like, I'm not even thinking of myself so much. I'm thinking about people who have to commute to work. And the fact that they didn't even announce this till 8:30 p.m. last night is ridiculous. And I feel so bad for the people who have to commute into Liverpool for work from here and from other areas that are affected by this. I think that's really poor management on their part. And from someone who has a degree in public relations, this is like, there's no emergency contingency plan. At least like that's very apparent that I can, like they don't even have timetables for buses. Like that's ridiculous. And you go on the website, I'm ranting, but you can skip ahead. I'll put the timestamp if you want to skip ahead, but they don't even have, like, if you go on the website to look at, like I do like New Brighton to Lime Street Station, which is like over the river, like it just says all the trains are canceled. Like it doesn't even say like replacing by bus or whatever. So like I asked a question on Twitter because it's the only place you can really talk to these people. So I got into my Twitter. I haven't gotten on in many, many months. And I was like, is there a timetable? Because this is like 10:30 this morning. They've had 14 hours to get a timetable, and they're like, no, we don't have one. And I'm like, so like, how do I know like what's working? And where do I buy? Do I like still buy the ticket in the station and go out to the bus? Like what's going on? They're like, well, you can look on our website at train departure times. And it's like, okay, so is a bus like where the train departure time is supposed to happen, even though it says canceled, am I to assume that that's a bus? And they said yes. But there's only a handful of buses running, so I can't see them running 4 buses an hour each way. I don't know. So anyway, it's just kind of part of this adventure. I thought this was going to be really low-key time. Welcome to Liverpool. Let's see what's going to happen. Let's make the best of this crappy situation with the trains, and let's just make the best of the last 9 days I have here. So let's go. Okay, I'm back. I didn't really record a lot. Honestly, I didn't do anything other than walk from here to Waterstones and walk back. So yeah, but I can show you what I ended up getting. Bag from Waterstones. If you don't know what Waterstones is, it's a bookstore. chain here in the UK. It's the 25th anniversary edition of Harry Potter, and yeah, it has the original UK cover art. It's a hardback, but yeah, I mean, I don't know if I really needed it, but I really just wanted this version with the original cover art. Obviously, it's not like the original because it's the 25th year anniversary edition, or what is it? Yeah, 25th anniversary edition. So the opposite of Butterfly Hunting by Ivana Lynch. She played Luna Lovegood in the movies, and I actually read this book earlier this year, and I really it spoke to me. I really enjoyed it. So I wanted to pick it up, and I got it here. I got the hardback, and it's also a signed copy. So yeah, there's her signature there. And then you might sense a theme here. I got Bonnie Wright's new book, Go Gently, and she played Ginny Weasley in the movies as well. I have not read this book yet. It came out last month. This one's also signed by her. It has a little book plate in there. So anyway, that was my day. I walked to go pick up books, and that's it. So anyway, I will catch you all tomorrow.
The Museum of Liverpool is located at the Pier Head and is a wonderful museum that tells the story of Liverpool and the city's global significance. Admission is free, and the museum is divided into 4 themes: the Great Port, Global City, People's Republic, and the Wondrous Place. There's something for everyone, whether you enjoy learning about the city's economic development or the social history of the city. You could spend all day in the museum if you wanted to, and it makes for a great rainy day activity. The Cunard Building is part of Liverpool's former UNESCO World Heritage designation. It was built between 1914 and 1917 in the Italian Renaissance and Greek Revival styles. It was featured in the first Fantastic Beasts movie as the inside of the Macy's department store. Liverpool has ties to the Titanic, and it was on its port of registry. The Titanic Memorial was originally intended to commemorate the 32 engineers who lost their lives in the sinking, but it was broadened to include all maritime engine failures.
Happy Wednesday. Hope you're doing well. Today I'm gonna head over into town, into the city. Just do a couple things. I think there's like a couple of Beatles museums here. I think I'm gonna going to one of them. I'm not going to the Beatles Story until like later in the week, but I'm going to another Beatles museum. And then I'm also going to, I think it's called the Cavern Club. If I've said that wrong, I will put it here. But that is where the Beatles kind of like had their start, and it's a pretty famous club, like music club here in Liverpool. So I'm going to try to go to that. We'll see how my comfort level is, if it's really busy. We'll see. Let's go explore, see what we're going to get up to. Also, finally, the train company put up a bus schedule timetable. Only took them like 2 days. So I'm going to take a look at that, see what time I can get on the bus, and then head into town.
In Liverpool, there are 2 Beatles museums. The Liverpool Beatles Museum is located across from the Cavern Club and houses over 1,000 authentic items. Each floor covers a different time period in the Beatles' history, from their beginning to their breakup. It's the largest Beatles collection in the world, and is a must-visit for any fan of the Beatles or music history in general. Admittedly, I didn't know a ton about the Beatles prior to my visit, but I left with a ton of new knowledge. Tickets are £17 for adults, and it is well worth the price of admission. across the street, you will find the world-famous Cavern Club. Opened in 1957 as a jazz club, it became the center of the rock and roll scene in Liverpool in the late 50s and early 60s. The club played host to the Beatles in their early years. The club closed in March 1973 after the British Rail purchased the warehouse that housed the club. A new club opened in 1984 and sits at a 90-degree angle to the original club and covers 70% of the original footprint. Many notable performers and acts have performed in the club, including Adele, The Wanted, and Jessie J. Former Beatle Paul McCartney even came back to perform at the club numerous times. The club is open every day of the week, with live music starting at 11:15 in the morning. There is a cover charge of £5 for a single entry, or you can get an all-day pass for £7.50. It's definitely worth going in to check out the live acts. The atmosphere is great, and it is a fun time.
I try, oh girls, I can't get no, I can't get no, when I'm riding around the world, I thank you as the star, don't know how lucky you are, boy, riding you as the star, well, you think girls really want to,
The Beatles Story is another Beatles museum in Liverpool. Located at Royal Albert Dock, the museum covers the history of the group and features recreations of the Casbah Coffee Club, the Cavern Club, and Abbey Road Studios. This museum focuses more on the storytelling versus featuring a lot of memorabilia. Personally, if I only had to choose one to visit, I would choose the Liverpool Beatles Museum. I felt like there was more to see and experience at the other museum versus the Beatles Story, and I feel like I took more away. However, both are worth visiting, but if you are short on time, you can choose one or the other. Admission is £19 for adults and includes an audio guide to listen to throughout your visit. The Royal Albert Dock is a complex of docks and buildings opened in 1846. At the time of its construction, the dock was revolutionary in its design because ships were loaded and unloaded directly into or from the warehouse. Today, the dock is a popular place for shopping, restaurants, and activities. Is on the National Heritage List for England as a Grade 1 listed building. It's been used as a filming location for many TV shows and movies, such as Peaky Blinders, The War of the Worlds, and the Fantastic Beasts movie. Nearby is the World Museum. It's a large museum which covers the natural and physical sciences. There's various exhibits including the National History Center and the planetarium. It's a fun place to bring kids, and like the Museum of Liverpool, it's a great rainy day location. Entry is free.
spot here, I guess. It is my second to last full day here in Liverpool in the UK before I head to Dublin just for about 48 hours and then go home. Yeah, I think this is going to be my last day in Liverpool. I don't really feel like I have a whole lot more to do, and just to save myself some time, and tomorrow I'm just going to be packing and going for a run, not in that order. I'm just going to take it easy. Yeah, I'm really sad. I don't think it's fully hit me yet that I'm going home. Like, in some ways it has. I am stressed, but in other ways I don't think it has. But that's the thing with travel. Every trip has to come to an end, and this one has gone on a lot longer than I thought it would. And yeah, I just gotta go back to real life. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm very nervous to go back for more than one reason, but I'm trying not to think about it, but I am definitely getting sad. I feel like this is like the last day where like I'm truly not, I could just like live it up, because like tomorrow, not live it up like party, but just like, like not have stress. But yeah, I mean, tomorrow I'll be packing. Monday is the travel day. Tuesday it's kind of like, yeah, I have one day in Dublin, but I'm not going to do too much, and because I'm going to be stressing out my flight the next day back to the US. So anyway, yeah, but thank you for joining me on this journey. I know I'm very behind on vlogs, but I'll be catching up over the next bit of time, so I don't know when you'll see this, if it'll be in like July or August, but yeah, so let's go explore and make the most of our last day exploring Liverpool.
The Maritime Museum is located at the Albert Dock and is another free museum to visit. It showcases the history of maritime in Liverpool and has an extensive exhibit dedicated solely to the Titanic. The museum also encompasses the International Slavery Museum, which focuses on the history and legacy of the transatlantic slave trade and the fight for freedom. Definitely dedicate a few hours to both museums. One of my final stops was to the Liverpool Cathedral. It's the largest cathedral and religious building in Britain and is the 8th largest church in the world. It's a fairly new cathedral as cathedrals go, constructed between 1904 and 1978. The total external length of the building is 207 yards, making it the longest cathedral in the world. Despite the train fiasco, I really enjoyed my time in Liverpool. I learned a lot about rock and roll and was pleasantly surprised by how neat this city is. I definitely would love to come back again in the future, and I hope this video gives you some ideas as to what to do when you visit. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe to my channel for more travel vlogs. To follow my travels in real time, give me a follow on Instagram at Katie Sputo and on TikTok at Katie Does Travel. I have one final video from this backpacking trip to Europe to come, and then I have a new series beginning in a new country, so you don't want to miss that. Thank you again, and remember to wander far and wander often.